We just got the weekly close. What do you think the market is showing you with that weekly close? Do you see any similarities with the recent past? You can even go back a year, all the way back to 2022, October, November, and take that 20% plus drops and then a similar price action. Keep in mind, you didn't go below the moving average, which showed you there is a longer consolidation happening. Here, that's not the case. So what does that mean? You can zoom in, you can zoom out, but you need to absorb all the data points which the market is giving you. Whether that's for Bitcoin, whether that's for Ether or XRP, you need to see what exactly is happening. For XRP, if you look at this, it's not going to the skies or it's not dropping to the hill. It's still inside that pattern until you see a breakout. Anything else is just a speculation. Yes, it's important to understand what the overall market is doing in terms of the altcoin side so that you can position yourself very well with the breakout, retest, and a bounce kind of scenario, which means this move, if it's happening in few coins, use it for your advantage. The market will give you clarity. By that time, maybe it can be too late to position yourself. But always understand what's the basis of some of these news or posts. You need to know what they are giving you so that you can make well-educated guess about the market, because no one knows where this is exactly going to. What you can look at is a well-educated guess in the market. And that's exactly what the Scientific Investor family takes you through. The entire market, what we do, what's happening, everything you can watch in the SI family. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. 2 days back, we talked about this possibility in Bitcoin. So we're going to do this. Before we go up there to test that range, we would like to see a retest of this low. Now that didn't happen 2 days back. Now you're watching the price slowing down, coming back down to this level, 66,000. And that is acting as a huge support. That's not letting the price drop below that. So when you come onto the price action side of things, you'll first look at, okay, what am I really watching with that 3-candle pattern? Is the price slowing down? Because if you do look at the pattern side of things, you should say, maybe on the micro side, what we are going to watch. Now, listen very carefully. The micro side shows you there can be an upside like this, but it would be literally bringing in a lot more bulls and then coming back down. So going heavily levered here can destroy you. Now, this is a short term. This is a micro scenario, right? Because the moment you zoom a little bit out, not to the macro, just still on the short term, you see this does not change anything. You're still inside the same trend, higher high, higher low, higher high. That's cool. Now, what you would like to see on the future should be this. Which direction am I going? Because here the price structure did not. Keep this in mind. Now we are talking about the short-term scenario, and I'm going to take into the macro. If both of them match, that's the perfect time to ride the market. Okay, the short-term shows you it put a high, then another low. Great. The low was equivalent here. That didn't look good. That was not a higher low by a lot of margin. Then you put in lower high, but still higher lows. But then you barely got a higher high, and then it put a lower low. So the consolidation began, and then you started putting in lower high, lower lows, lower high. Then came the switch, which was a higher low. We were like, okay, for a confirmation, we need higher high, higher low. There you go. You now have higher high. Now what we need is another higher low somewhere here, and then a bounce to test this resistance, or a break to the upside. That's going to be super bullish. Now, why? Because the scenario we just talked about is short term. Now we go on to the macro. Be honest with yourself, because you should not take wrong decisions just because you are assuming things, right? So here we are, the market is showing you the price is trending to the upside. The market is clearly showing you the price is trending to the upside, right? Is it going below this range? It is not. So the price is showing you the trend is still to the upside, and the trend should be your friend. You should not make an assumption that there is a trend reversal until the market says so. Now, another easy part to keep in mind is like, okay, look at the momentum side of things. Easy way. You're going up. 1, 2. Now, don't forget this. You break this. Sometimes you just go to the upside. Fine. Sometimes you retest and then go to the upside. Perfect. Sometimes you just slow down a little bit and then go up. Whichever the scenario is, this is your recent past. You're going back 6 months, a year, year and a half. And what do you see here? Like, until you're going close to 2 years, it is still visible for you that this thing which you're watching in front of you is giving you something great. Now say you're like, SI, that's a 3-day chart. I want a macro picture. Great. You want confirmation. That level of certainty. The market is uncertain, but that level of certainty is what we are talking about. So now the argument is, any time when the price drops 20-30%, and then the weekly shows you this, a break of the moving average, and in green, what happens? The price moved here to here. What was your ROI? Just put these numbers in front of you and ask to yourself, what the hell did the market show you? So that's like a 40-50% run. The next one is like an 80% run. The next one is what? 75. Now let's say we are conservative. We are not looking at the big picture, blast offs. We're just staying at, let's be average. It was 88, then it turned to 72. Okay, let's say the next one is going to be 60. That means you're talking about somewhat close to $100,000. Fine. But this time around, on the same weekly chart, you're watching, we're not that far from the local high in the price, but we are a lot far from the local high of the weekly moving average, which hit close to 95 last time. Right now, we had 72. Negative divergence is starting to form. So maybe it's not 60% run up. Maybe it's 50. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It touches 102 and then drops. I don't know. Maybe it's just 90,000 and it drops. But the direction to the upside is what matters when the negative divergence form. Why? When that negative divergence is playing out there, price is going up, divergence is building up. That means even though the price is going up, someone for some reason is taking the money out of the market from that asset, and most likely they're going to bring that money into altcoins. Now the question is that just a speculation? Yeah, it is. Now we need to actually see the confirmation. We need to see if the money is coming into this market. If it is coming, okay, that makes more sense, right? So here we are. We come here. We talked about this scenario before. It's going to be painful. Then you break to the upside. Now, see what the market is doing. You're trying to break through to the upside. Now, one thing which we have already discussed several times is this. hidden bullish divergence, that's still there, that's valid. Bitcoin has actually confirmed that on a weekly. So you cannot deny that, saying it's a hourly or it's a daily. Now that's on a weekly. When money flow is returning onto the altcoin side and the altcoin side is staying above, remember, just like Bitcoin, staying above the moving average, showing you the hidden bullish divergence, showing you it's turning green, and then you're like, okay, how high should these group of assets go? That shows you there is enormous potential. Even if you plot that, say 60%, 65%, you actually see all-time highs region in most of the crypto assets. That is a time in the market which you are like euphoric action in 2021. And still, that's just the beginning. Why? You go to the monthly and you're like, we haven't even entered on this territory. You need to see the monthly reaching 80, 85. Now, based on individual assets, you'd be surprised. Some of them are still below 50, which is 50 is kind of a bullish range you should look at. Above 50, it's like, okay, it's getting more and more bullish. Below that, it doesn't look good unless there is a divergence. So you need to know what you're looking at. Whether you are a maxi on an Ether or XRP or Bitcoin, your emotions should be controlled based on what the market is showing you. Because end of the day, whether I'm wrong, you're wrong, it doesn't matter. The market is kind of right. It is searching for the price. And what we are trying to do as an investor or a trader is to follow the direction of the price. So if the price is showing you I'm trending to the upside, why would you go against it? I mean, you can put this on the Japanese candle, remove the extra equations from the Heikin-Ashi, and ask the question to yourself, was there a lot of buying volume this weekly close showed you? Did that weekly close actually show you a ton of buying volume? And not much, because compared to last one where we formed the doji, this is lesser than that. Still, you got a bullish engulfing candle. I mean, that's important if you are looking at the price action and saying like, SI, look at this. That candle just closed at this level, which means we just erased 5 weeks of price consolidations. A month was just choppy. Great. Now come here and look at this. One candle erased all of this. So if you weigh choppy, if you weigh painful, if you weigh calling for the bear market, just like a lot of people did at 49, you will be surprised. Now, if it reaches around, I'm repeating, 75 to 80 and give you a negative divergence, should you think about a 90 to 100,000? No, that's rubbish at that point. If the market confirms this, you need to now follow the market. Because at that point, there is a possibility you may still do this, but there is a higher possibility you may not. Why would you go that direction? You want to be in the direction of the money flow, not against it. Soon you will see the divergence. At that time, saying, okay, that guy was right, doesn't matter. The market and the price action is over. So when that divergence is confirmed, if you're already positioned, listen to this carefully, already positioned well enough in the altcoins which are following this direction, meaning on the weekly, price is above the moving average, it's green. That's the golden equation here. That's easy. That's the most easy part you can get. Now, even though I love this asset, if I go into that equation and ask the question, is this showing me that? As of now, it's not. Do I like it? No, I don't. I mean, if this doesn't move that big, even if there is a 10 assets on the other side of my portfolio doing bangers, I'm not making that huge movement compared to if XRP is just reaching $6, $10, because that's the size of this asset in my portfolio. But am I making a decent gains on the other assets because I've positioned myself well so that I can still give more time for this asset because the fundamentals didn't change. The asset itself, the ledger itself, it's all valid. So what needs to be given? It's time, man. That's the hardest part. The market can be irrational and stupid going into the meme coin and popping 100x when high utility asset stays here. And all of a sudden, when no one expects, this just goes up. I don't want to miss that. For that, I can still keep my portfolio on the other side with XRP and get the gains on the other side when the market is running hot. And that's exactly what we try to give you in the scientific investor family, breaking things down, equations like smart contracts, large cap, small cap, payments, large cap, small cap. So your exposure in each segments and each category shapes your portfolio. And if you need help, the SR family is here for that. You can follow the link in the description to reach me. That's in YouTube or it's in the bio of Twitter. Now, if you haven't smashed that like button yet after reaching this point of the video, I would request you smash that. Let's see, like, can we reach 300? Can we reach 400? Can we reach 500? Right? It's still at 200. I'm like, okay, there's 1,000 viewers at least taking value of getting value. Why not 1,000 likes? I'm surprised. Some point, I think, clicking a mouse button sometimes need a lot of energy. Do you have that energy? Maybe. Let's see. I'll meet you guys in the next video. Bye for now.